Hey everyone, and welcome to day 3, video 3 of the 90-day YouTube sprint experiment that we're doing at MergeYourData. I'm Dan Saavedra, and today we're going to be going over what are signals. So what's the definition of signals? And this will be hopefully a quick video because I need to be home in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to just try to tear through this and publish it before I get going. So before we start, who am I? Dan Saavedra. I run this company, MergeYourData. If you've seen other videos, you know what it is. Been working in data for 12 years, a bunch of different things. But today we're talking about signals and specifically signal analytics. And so why you should care what signals are as a whole. Number 1, money isn't cheap anymore. 2, profitability matters. And 3, this concept helps you become more profitable. So since money isn't free, you're not getting tons of easy money from investors, loans, all that good stuff. You need to be profitable. And so signals help you become more profitable. Who should care? People in control of company-wide strategy and budget. So obviously, if you're looking at your P&L, if you control any line items in your P&L, then you should care about this because this is a great way to make those numbers better. Also, people managing strategy and budget for their team. So sales, marketing, RevOps specifically. If you are a manager of that, a VP, chief sales officer, whatever you are, you should care about this because this is how you can make your team more productive. So that is why you should care and who you are if you care about this type of stuff. Signals. So broad definition here: measurable indicators or pieces of information that convey meaningful insights or patterns. So what the heck does that mean? It can be used in any industry, but it's basically those specific data points that indicate something significant. So usually you have tons of data points, but only a select few will actually mean anything. And our definition is more specific to marketing and sales, and it's really more common nowadays to use signals in this specific context, especially if you see certain people posting on LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever social media platform. Chris Walker is a great example of this. Signals are more in the context of marketing and sales. So data points that indicate a person's readiness to purchase or progress through the sales funnel. Now, that's how we're interpreting it. Obviously, a name drop. So like someone like Chris Walker might be indicating something different. But overall, this is how we are defining signals today and in the context of what we are doing. And so overall, what you have to know, they filter out the noise and show what you should focus on. So here's a graph. You have a bunch of noise, and you have this giant signal here that indicates something happened. And so this this concept really goes all the way back to the original timeline of signals. And so I made this little timeline here from literal to metaphorical. So we start out with things like smoke signals and drums. And so if you think of drums, for example, you can have a bunch of noise, but drums will highlight specific cadences and obviously make a noise at specific times, and so it can become significant. It can communicate information. Same with smoke signals. Then we had literal telegraphs and telephones sending signals in a literal sense between two places through mediums. Radio and television were the same, with even finer processing of these signals. Then we have digital signal processing, so we're talking about internet, Wi-Fi, computers. And now we have data science, which is what we're actually talking about here. Patterns or valuable information extracted from data sets. And so let's dig into that one with a second timeline here, specifically around signal evolution in marketing and sales. So we're talking about the data science portion of it. But way before that, signals have been around a very long time. Ancient marketers and salespeople realized that certain behaviors give better sales success. So someone who's a great salesperson might make an observation about a group of people or an individual in a group of people and target them as someone to have a conversation with. And so this can be someone as simple or someone selling water, and they see a group of people and someone is clearly very sluggish, they look dehydrated. That's a signal. That's how basic it can be. And so that person would sell more because they can recognize those signals. And obviously, it gets more complex. People can be very good at observing these signals that people might not be communicating directly, but are still showing somehow. The second step, we skip a bunch of things, and companies then define and create processes that leverage these signals because they recognize certain marketers and certain salespeople are more successful. And why is that? And usually it's because their timing is better and their messaging is more on point. So it's a combination of that timing of the messaging and the message itself that leads to success. And so then 3, we have people who start to realize that this is valuable and it's a hot topic and it's something that can really drive success in their field. And so then we get the influencers, we get people talking about it like me, trying to share this information with others. 4, new and existing software capture real-time data points around many signal types. So we have software that you can subscribe to that's new, that captures signals, not only first party, like ones that you actually, data points you actually capture yourself, but second and third party signals, ones that you can purchase. And then there's existing platforms like a HubSpot that provides some type of signal capture, obviously, because you have signals like people booking meetings or visiting your website that you can feed into your systems. And then the last stage here, the 5th stage, data nerds like us get deep into what to do with all the data from stage 4 above. We like this stuff. We realize the opportunity here. There's all these data points, all this noise, and so we identify the signals in a very simplified way that can tell you whether or not someone is going to progress down the customer journey. And so this is the evolution of signals in marketing and sales. And hopefully that helps conceptualize this word better. And so we can break it down even further. We have marketing signals here. What am I at? 7 minutes, so I got to hurry up here. Marketing signals can go from top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. They can be weak, they can be strong. Some are digitally measurable, some are not, and you'll never be able to measure them. But marketing signals are vast. They are wide. You can look for them in many, many places, from data sources that you own to data sources that you can purchase to qualitative things that you can observe. And I'm not going to go deep into what these signals are because we will have a separate video on that later in this 90-day sprint. So as you can see, but wait, there's more. So we'll do a video later. Then you have sales signals here, and typically they're action oriented. So people are doing things specifically that indicate that the sales team should interact with them. And that can be from prospecting, cold prospecting, all the way to actually being in the funnel. And so usually the prospecting stages have more third-party data and broad signals. And then just like how marketing and sales should be working, sales signals overlap a lot with marketing signals. And so obviously marketing and sales shouldn't be working in a bubble separate from each other in an ideal world. I know that's not usually the case, but they should have an overlap, especially through the middle parts of the funnel, in terms of data that they share, things that they look for, communication they have with the client. And ideally, this should be through the entire customer journey and more of a RevOps type approach. I'm not an expert in that area, but the team should be working together. And so you see marketing and sales signals overlap a lot because of that. And yeah, we'll talk more about sales signals in a later video. And so that's pretty much it on what signals are. And so I appreciate you guys listening to this one. Went through it a little bit fast. Our next video, we're going to dive into another problem and how signal analytics solves it. So if you want to follow along, subscribe on YouTube or via the link in the description where you can sign up for an email list where we'll send out the video individually to you so you can watch specific ones if you want to. I'm Dan Savadra from MergeYourData, and I appreciate you joining in on this experiment.